Chef Chad Armstrong here with my daughter Emma.
Hi everybody.
And we are part of the team for Kids in the Kitchen. Welcome back to our latest video. Today's going to be a fun one. Today is one that we do a lot in our household. We make this dressing a lot, don't we?
We do.
This is probably, I'd probably say this is Emma's top 2 favorite salads. Maybe we're top 1. I don't know. She orders this one a lot when we decide to make salad at home.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Yeah. So we're going to make Caesar dressing. So Caesar dressing is part of the part of this dress, or part of this salad is the really special part. You know, the other parts are really easy. You know, actually right now we're actually looking behind the camera. We're actually grilling chicken for this. So we're doing some grilled chicken thighs that we season with some of our Harvest Moon Spice Company roasting blend, and also we have our romaine lettuce that we're going to clean and cut up later and dry, and then we'll shave some Parmesan on top of it to finish it off. But the important part of this salad is the dressing. It's really the part that makes it tick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It brings it home. So it is an egg-based dressing. So what's going to be the thickener for this dressing and make it, the nice creamy dressing is the egg yolk. So I'm actually Emma's going to do a demo because she's really good at doing demos for this. She's going to show you how to separate the eggs because we don't want the whites. So we just want the yolks. If you want to go ahead and start separating this. So really all you're doing is just taking the eggs, break them in half, and then, so that's not how you do it.
It slipped.
That was great. So she's able to save it. That's great. So it did slip out of the shell there. She was an expert. I talked too soon. So that's fine. The egg yolk will still work as long as we get the white out of it. And so we'll use that part. That's great. And she'll do the other two. Actually, we're going to add one more egg. So luckily we have our refrigerator right here at Kids in the Kitchen. So we can grab another egg right in.
Yeah.
And we'll keep that. It's fine. You don't have to dig out any more. That's good. So just crack another one. Yep, slice your trash bowl. So you want to deal with 3 egg yolks for this recipe, and this is going to yield, it's going to be enough to suspend about a cup of oil. Altogether, it's going to give you just under 2 cups of finished Caesar dressing. So once again, you can see that what she's doing is she's running the yolk back and forth between these two sides. You can see maybe in this camera over here, until all the whites fall through. Then she takes the yolk and puts it over the side. So the yolk is what's going to be the part that really makes this dressing nice and thick and creamy. So you need these yolks. If you're not comfortable with this, you can buy pasteurized egg yolks at the store. You can find them at some stores if you're not comfortable using raw eggs. So another method that Emma's, decided to show us.
It broke on me.
It broke on her. So is letting it go through her fingers. She'll let the whites go through your fingers. It's a little bit more messy this way. But as long as you get the whites out, you're good. So the whites, if you put the whites in this and try and do a whole egg on this, it won't work. It'll stay liquidy. The whites won't allow it to come together. So nice job. This is our final egg, and then we're going to allow her to clean up her hands real quick, and then we'll get going on how to make this dressing. So you can see on my counter we've got the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, I highly recommend you get one. This one we got, I think, I want to say we probably got this as a wedding gift, my wife and I, and that's been almost 21 years now. So that we've had this food processor. So they are workhorses in our kitchen. I use ours. We use it all the time, probably 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more. Definitely a must for this dressing because this really is going to be the high RPMs that you need to bring everything together and to really emulsify this dressing. So Emma's going to start putting things into it. She's going to start with the yolks first. I'll switch places with her so she can do all the work here. I'm just going to talk. I get the fun part tonight. Grab the towel. So add the yolks. For this, just off to the side, that's fine. We've got 2 cloves of garlic. These are whole cloves. This is very important for this dressing. Is the garlic. If you go too much garlic, though, you can really overpower this dressing. So we start with 2 cloves. If you're a garlic lover and you think I can take it, I want to add more garlic. But just know that you can't subtract things once you add things. So like with seasoning, you can always add more. You can never take it back out. You can't take things out of the dressing. So we're going to start with 2 yolks. We've got some lemon juice, so the juice of 1 lemon that we already squeezed and ran through a strainer just to get the seeds out. So we've done that before. I've got a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. This is very important for your Caesar dressing as well. And the one piece that really makes this Caesar dressing, this not for everybody, but for Caesar dressing, I think it's a must, and that's anchovy paste. And this looks a little funny because these don't look like anchovies at all, do they? So this is anchovy paste. Comes in a tube, and let me tell you why I buy it in a tube. Because when I buy tins of anchovies, if I only use 2 or 3 in my Caesar dressing, then you're still stuck with 10 or so anchovy fillets out of the 10, and then I got to figure out something else to do with them. Not everybody in my family likes anchovy fillets the way that I like anchovy fillets. So I buy it in a tube. We squeeze out what we need. So it's about, I think it's about a quarter to a half teaspoon will equal, maybe half teaspoon will equal 2 anchovy fillets. So, and she's going to show you how to pierce it too. So there's a little, put it in and twist it. So there's a little like kind of just nipple, I guess, inside of this cap that you inverted, put it in the cap, you twist it, and that breaks the seal on the anchovy paste. If you want it measured out, you can. Emma knows, she's pretty good about knowing what the measurements are, so about a half teaspoon to maybe a little more than half teaspoon. I like the anchovy paste in my dressing. That's probably good there. So it's a little bit more intense than actual anchovies, so the fresh anchovies. So we've also got a season. Let's go ahead and add salt and pepper to this too. If you wanted to add other things to this, I've done other things. Like I've added herbs to this, or I've added some smoked paprika to this. You can do that at this time. Go ahead and season. Remember now, anchovy paste and Parmesan they're pretty salty. So I'd go maybe half a teaspoon on the salt. Okay, and then the same amount of pepper. If you don't have a pepper mill, I highly recommend that you invest in something where you can crack your own fresh black pepper. It just makes a world of difference of buying the stuff that's in the tin that's pre-ground, because it doesn't. Once you grind that pepper, you start to lose the potency and the flavor of it. So the other thing we've got with our dressing is our olive oil. So if olive oil is pretty intense in flavor, but we'd like the intensity of this. If you wanted to use a more neutral flavored oil, like a safflower oil or something like that, you can do that. That's up to you. We use olive oil in ours. We like the intense flavor of it. And this is where the hardest part, where people they trust about the most with making an emulsion or in a dressing. We've got to suspend this oil inside of the egg yolks. So we're going to turn on the processor, and then the top of this processor, and everyone's different, they have a lid here that comes out. So take that lid out, put your lid on and lock it down. And when we're going to turn this on, we're going to pour this oil into it really, really slow. So we want to have just a slight stream going in for about a third of the way through this oil. Once we get through that, you've got usually enough of an emulsion going to where you can start adding a little bit faster. So it'll probably take you about almost a minute to add all of this oil to this. So I'm going to let Emma go ahead and turn it on, and she can start slowly adding our oil. It helps to put a lid on the top, because it might want to shoot some of the stuff out at the top of the hole there when you initially turn it on until it gets going. So it's also good to let it spin for maybe like 20 seconds or so to really beat up the cheese and that garlic and that incorporate everything really nicely before you start adding in your olive oil. So you're probably good to go by now. So she's going to see just a slight drizzle with the olive oil here. Not much happening. But you want a nice steady stream though. You want it's just like it's a small leak in your olive oil just coming out of the jar there. Oh, you're doing good. And it's really just, you start increasing the speed as you start to get through it. You never want to dump all the olive oil into it, but you just start increasing your speed. And what's going to happen is it's going to start to thicken your dressing. So your dressing should become almost, not quite a mayonnaise, but almost like a mayonnaise kind of thing. Between a mayonnaise and maybe like a really nice thick dressing to pour out of a bottle. So you can probably go a little bit faster now. Getting tired yet? The other thing with this, if it takes too long, these things will start to heat up your food in here. If it starts to heat up your food, it'll start to break it down, and everything will start to separate. So the eggs won't suspend the oil into the eggs won't hold the oil. So you want to make sure you don't go too long with this, where you're going for like 3 or 4 minutes, because it will get hot. So you do want to go fairly quickly. Emma's getting a little splattered from the oil and the dressing. Oh yeah, it's starting to look good now. Go ahead and add a little bit faster now. All right, let's take yeah, almost there. Good? All right, go ahead. That's enough. Let's let that run to see. Oh, that looks fantastic. I want to pour this out into just something where you can see it, because it's very important for you to, I think, to see what this looks like now. Let's taste it as well, Em. You want to get a spoon to taste it?
Yeah. Here.
So I'm gonna have her just taste it just for seasoning. You always want to, taste for your season before you finish up. I'll let you be the taste tester. You're the expert with the Caesar dressing here. Good?
You can taste it too.
Garlic comes through. So also I'll let you see just the thickness of it too. I'll hold it over a bowl. But you want it to be, it just kind of holds the shape and then drips down. That's what you want that's a good sign of a Caesar dressing. I don't have to pour it all, I guess I can just pour some of it out so you can see it. But you can just see it just, once I can just pour out there. Hopefully you can see on the camera there. Yeah, there we go. So it just slowly drips off my spoon. And you can just see it inside of that bowl. So it's not a mayonnaise. It's not that thickness of a mayonnaise. If you wanted the mayonnaise, you could go a couple more egg yolks and a little more oil. For a mayonnaise, if you wanted to do this, you would just take out the garlic, the cheese, and the anchovies, and just do the lemon juice, the egg yolk, salt and pepper, and the oil, and you're good to go. That's your mayonnaise. So you can make your own mayonnaise, put it in the fridge. It'll last 7 to 10 days, or in our household, a day. So we get through it pretty quick.
We do.
So just that simple. You can now make your own Caesar dressing in your house. I really encourage you to try this. If you don't have a food processor, try and find one somewhere. If you don't have the money for one right now, find one that's maybe used on Craigslist or one of those sites where you can find things. We found a refrigerator for our garage on Facebook for $50, and it works better than I think our regular refrigerator. So, off subject, but so this thing is it's a workhorse. It makes a big difference in your kitchen. Helps out a lot. We'll go do more with this. I'll do more demos with these and how to use these. Like I said, this one is old and it does a lot of things, and I can't ever imagine us not having this for less than 20 plus years now.
We do use it a lot.
So just make sure that when you're doing this, make sure that you, like I said, always take your time when you're initially getting going with the oil, but don't go too long, because this bowl, it's spinning really hard. It'll get hot eventually, and it'll start to break down and separate your oil, your food. Let's talk about if. So if you do go too fast or you do go too slow and it separates and it breaks, don't throw this away. All you have to do is take this out, put it into a bowl, pour the thing out. It'll be liquidy and kind of maybe chunky and kind of gross looking. Clean out your bowl entirely, cool it down, and then start over. Start with just an egg yolk or a couple of egg yolks, get that going, and then use that old dressing that broke, the separated dressing, and slowly pour that into your egg yolks, just egg yolks by themselves, and that will fix it. So that's a way to fix broken emulsions if you do happen to have a mistake and it doesn't work out for you. So you don't have to throw it away. You can just start over with fresh egg yolks and your old broken dressing and slowly incorporate that into the new dressing. Okay?
Okay.
Good deal?
Good deal.
So we're going to finish grilling our chicken before we burn that. We appreciate everybody, the support. We had a big celebration today. We actually had our first 2 patrons join up yesterday and today. So we are very excited about that. Thank you to those 2 patrons. We're getting going with this. Let's continue this. So please support us. That's going to allow us to do more of these videos, longer videos. It allows somebody else to do the editing and the shooting instead of us doing the editing and the shooting, because right now it's just us. We're doing everything, moving the cameras around and lighting, and then taking the time after to edit these videos, because we do have a lot of bloopers
We do.
in our videos. We make a lot of mistakes. We're really great in the kitchen. We're not so great on talking to a camera and making it work. So we're getting better though. So thank you again. Patreon.com/Kids in the Kitchen. Support us. We appreciate it, and we will bring you all the content that we can manage to shoot and create. Okay?
Well,
all right?
yeah.
All right, folks. Take care. Have a good night. Thanks.
Bye.